Good evening, everyone, and happy Juneteenth. I hope you can hear me. I know that I'm not the loudest at times. I'm going to keep this short. So, this is not going to be a long live. This is going to be about maybe no more than about 15 minutes. But I definitely want to go live about this. I didn't go outside today. I stayed indoors, but I did go outside yesterday, and there were quite a bit of Juneteenth celebrations in my neighborhood. And I'm going to say something. I think that even though next year Juneteenth is going to fall on a Monday, I believe that at least in New York, there's going to be celebrations week on the weekends to commemorate Juneteenth. Because let's keep it real, even though this is the first time it's a federal holiday and it's paid, a lot of times people stay indoors on the weekend on the weekdays, but everybody's going outside on the weekends. Okay. So let's go into what the essence of this day is all about. The state of Texas. Okay. Now, Texas is very unique because Texas was the state that entered the Union back around about in the mid 1800s. It entered the Union in the mid 1800s. And Texas was basically west of the Mississippi, 1845. It was west of the Mississippi and it entered the Union in 1845. Okay. And there was a lot of issues with them entering because a lot of the parts of what we know as Texas, it was part of Mexico. Okay. And the capital is named after a man named, I know his last name is Austin, of course, but I got to find out his name. Hold on for a second. Stephen F. Austin is named after him, the capital. He's the father of Texas. Okay. And he basically is very famous because he led the second and ultimately the successful colonization of the region. Okay. He's the founder of what they call Anglo Texas. And he brought 300 families and their slaves from the United States to the Tejas region in 1845. Okay. Now, that Tejas region is basically Mexico. So what that means is that we got some slaves. I mean, got some black people who actually are in Texas, what they call the Black Mexicans, that went there because of the 300 families. And they are even called the old 300. Okay. Now, going back to, or going forward to 1865. Okay. Because we got to go back. 1865 comes, the war is over. Okay. But there's a problem because you have people in Texas that have still been not just living on plantations, but haven't even gotten paid because they were not formally emancipated. They kept that ish on a hush down there. And so what occurred was that a general from the Union Army named Gordon Granger went down there and he basically announced the General Order number 3, proclaiming freedom for enslaved people in Texas. And he did this on this very day, June 19th, 1865. So that would be 157 years ago. Okay. Now, this took place in the city of Galveston. Now, if you know about Galveston, Galveston is a coastal resort city and it's a port off of the southeast Texas coast of the Galveston on the Galveston Island and Pelican Island in the United States of Texas. So geographically, it kind of would make a little sense that they wouldn't get the news right away. But 3 years, come on now. They was planning to get free labor out of those people for, you could say, eternity. But it didn't work out that way. So Juneteenth becomes a celebration to commemorate that day. But you have many names of it. You have the Juneteenth, the Jubilee Day, Emancipation Day, Freedom Day, Black Independence Day, and then now is Juneteenth National Independence Day. I think they should call it Juneteenth National Freedom Day because we already have Independence Day. And the significance of this is the emancipation of slaves and states rebelling against the Union, as in the South. Now, let me go back let me go forward once again. I have a love, but I have an anger over them making this holiday federal. Okay? Now, before I be going to this, I want to say that Juneteenth is also celebrated by Mascogos. Those are descendants of Black Seminoles who escaped from slavery in 1852 and settled in Mexico. Now, my love for this holiday is that with my people. I'm a descendant of a great grandmother who fled from a Texas plantation in the 1830s when she was a child. She was 15 years old. And she decided that she was never going to be a slave again. So she ran away in Texas. Okay? Or what was known as Texas at that time. So it's probably the 1840s. Probably the 1840s. But it was in between that. And she had children with the Comanche man. And those children ended up moving to Louisiana. And they married Creoles, which is how my family from Plaquemines, basically knows how to speak Creole fluently. Now, I also like this holiday a lot because it basically commemorates the fact that Black people were finally being part of America, in a sense. And they were citizens for the first time. I also love the celebration behind it because I've been to a couple of Juneteenth parades and events, and it's a positive holiday. And what I like about it is that you never read or have ever read about any shootouts on Juneteenth, unlike 4th of July. Let's keep it real. 4th of July, Memorial Day, never Labor Day though, but definitely 4th of July, it goes down. Okay. My issue with it being federal is that I feel that the government did this to throw a symbol at us to say this is a form of reparations so that they could shut us up with the reparations talk. I also have an issue with this holiday because of the way it came about, because there are people that are basically trying to take over this country and gut it out and make it a socialist country. And these are the Soros people. These are things that are true. I've done my research. I'm independent from all of the ultra conservatives. I want to make that claim. And I did this on my own. And it's proven. That's why they pretty much wanted to, shut it down. I'm going to close this out because my phone is basically overheating. I want to say that Juneteenth is a special holiday. This is not going to be some holiday. As long as we keep it focused, it's not going to be some BS holiday where people are going to make money off of it. Leave that to 4th of July. Leave that to Memorial Day. Leave that to Thanksgiving Day. Definitely let Christmas have it. Definitely let what's the other holiday? President's Day. All the money making holidays fine, but this ain't no money making holiday unless we make the money from it as Black people. Okay, I want to make that clear. You're not going to trademark Juneteenth and become a billionaire over again from it. No, we can't let that happen. We have to gatekeep our culture, because if we don't, this holiday will fizzle. Because before Juneteenth became a federal holiday, people were not celebrating 4th of July like that. People were done with it. People were not celebrating even Thanksgiving. And people really weren't. People haven't been celebrating Christmas, honestly, going back to really since the early 2000s. They haven't been. So with that being said, I'm basically going to end it here because I said it was going to be no more than about 15 minutes. But I'm just going to end it a little bit early. Just don't forget the true meaning of this. This is not a twerk fest. It's a very classy holiday. Let's not bastardize it. Let's just, keep it to the true meaning. And thank you and have a good night.